Hi and welcome to The Winning Factor. I'm Alan Aitken, and on this show each week I take a look at some upcoming races in Hong Kong and try to isolate an angle to the race we might look back on later as having been a path to finding the winner. Well, 10 races at Sha Tin on Sunday. We're going to the end of the program for our examinations. The first, race 9, where the winning factor is the map. Now this is a Class 3 over 1200 metres featuring some fairly lightly raced horses, and there will be cases made, I think, for Supreme Lucky coming up in class. The Jamie Richards trained Magniac, who impressed at his only Hong Kong start. Consistent Pulsar Strider. In form Youthful Deal for Vincent Ho. And even Satanta might be a chance coming back to what I feel is his best distance. So we have a couple of video references for this. First of them, the latest win from Supreme Lucky. Now this is race 393. He's in gate 4, green colours. And Matthew Poon has him out quickly, taking a sit back off what was a pretty solid early pace in this race. But he was certainly suited by that and never really looked like losing as the odds-on favourite. Now it's a case of when the Poon train wants to ask him to go, and when he does, he puts paid to them quickly and comes away. Now that was in Class 4. He now rises to Class 3, and regulars watching this show will know how often I point a horses rising in class off a win as a great angle in Hong Kong racing, and I'm sure that that gives Supreme Lucky a winning chance on Sunday. But I think there was a stronger form reference leading into this race as well in Class 3, and that was the race won by Beauty Eternal and where he was chased home by Youthful Deal and Magniac. And this is race 357. Barrier 1 is Magniac in dark blue and white, Youthful Deal next to him in green, blue and yellow colours, and both jump okay. Magniac quickly through into the box seat in what you can see on the heat map there is a good tempo, while Vincent Ho, he's in no hurry on Youthful Deal, but the horse has enough speed to take the trail behind Magniac, and that's pretty much how those two stay until the 400 metres, at which point Magniac angles between the leaders to make his bid. Ho momentarily thinks of coming to the outside, but he can see Beauty Eternal outside him going strongly, so he switches back to follow Magniac through and proves too strong for him, but is comfortably held by the winner. Not that there's any disgrace in being beaten by Beauty Eternal, a highly promising horse. But now we come to the next start for each of these horses, and trainers Frankie Law and Jamie Richards are trying to convert that placing there into a win. And this is a statistic that we do pay some attention to on this show. So here's a table of our top 10 performers at this over the last 5.5 seasons. The conversion rates, and conversion rates, well, we'll look at the records of trainers with their next runners after a good performance in the lead up without winning. In other words, horses that run second, third or fourth, and how they perform at their next run. And Frankie Law has been a standout performer at this since he commenced training, well ahead of market expectations. Although it must be said that Jamie Richards has made a very good start to this statistic in his first season off just limited numbers. So good stats for both trainers there. It's not really a statistic that's going to separate these two horses, but I think the map will. One of the tricks to this map is to find where the leader is, because there are quite a few in the race who would like to race close up, but not necessarily to lead. The horse who has been a regular leader during his career is 8 Trigrams. Now he's been struggling for form, but he's stepping up in distance from 1,000 metres to 1,200 here. And I think that having him out wide there as the potential leader should ensure a worthwhile tempo to the race. It might also give Zac Purton on Magniac a horse to follow across if he leads, or Purton might even take the initiative himself anyway, but he has a bit to think about for this race, and so does Matthew Poon on Supreme Lucky from his wide gate. Meanwhile, Vincent Ho has a much kinder proposition ahead of him from barrier 4 to get a similar position to the one he held in running last start. So the tip for me in race 9 is Youthful Deal. His winning factor, the map. Certainly no disgrace, chasing home a good one last start in defeat, And Frankie Law's horses, we've seen as a trainer that he can get these honourable defeats to turn into wins pretty quickly. Add to that an easy draw when some of his rivals have obstacles to overcome. I think that makes Youthful Deal the one to beat. The other race I'm taking a look at is, yes, you guessed right, race 10, where our winning factor is the draw. Now this is a very interesting Class 3 over 1600 metres with plenty of chances, and Sinba, an amazing victory, are sure to be two of those. Prince Alex down in the weights is going better than his form on paper suggests. Circuit Mighty and even Satirical Glory have chances with their on-pace styles the way this race sets up. But there are two horses I want to put the spotlight on here. John Size trained Beauty Inspire and Casper Founds trained Capital Legend. First, Capital Legend, the horse we do know a little bit about. Now, he was a very good winner over an unsuitable 1200 metres at his first run in Hong Kong. Not a lot went right. Second time out when he was switched up to 1600 metres. And then last start, again over 1600 metres, he had a wide draw to contend with, and it certainly didn't help his prospects. So let's take a look at that latest performance. We're going back to race 368. He's in gate 11 in yellow and brown colours, and jockey Hugh Bowman immediately steadies Capital Legend past midfield to ensure that he isn't covering extra ground from that wide draw. And the horse gets keen in what is a very slow pace. In fact, the second 400 metre section here was more than 6 lengths slower than average. But Bowman is then able to tack onto the back of the ultimate winner, Super Sunny Singh, rounding the home turn. And while he is unable to match the brilliant sprint of that horse down the straight, he does work his way strongly into second in pretty good style. So a good effort there with no help from the draw or pace. And that was probably true too of Beauty Inspire. Now, his first run in Hong Kong was his first run since July of 2021 when he won 2 out of 2 in Ireland. And over 1400 metres, he also drew wide here in the race that we're going to look at, 378. He's in the familiar Beauty colours from gate 12 for James McDonald, and actually jumps okay here, but there's too much speed under him, and he steadies back in what the heat map shows is an even, consistent sort of pace, neither that quick or that slow. And he races quite fresh. You'll see he does get a bit keen at times. He's a long way off the front turning for home, though. It must be said only a couple of lengths behind the ultimate winner, Super Dynamite. But look at the big finish he unwinds down the straight to finish less than a length away from the winner on the line. Now, although he did have a consistent speed up front to help him run on there, Beauty Inspire's actual sectional time in the race was the 5th best for the entire meeting, and only marginally behind the likes of Golden 60, Romantic Warrior and Galaxy Witness, all horses we know who can reel off very fast finishing sectionals. So a pretty good effort from him at his first start for such a long time. Now, he was drawn wide there, and of course we also saw Capital Legend drawn wide. When we go to the map for this weekend's race, both of them get a boost from drawing much lower. If there's a query on both of these horses, I guess it's still how they're going to cope with what looks a slow pace. Only really the lightweights, Circuit Mighty and Satirical Glory, have shown much inclination to be leaders in their races, so that is an issue. But the change from a double figure gate to a draw in the inside half for both of these horses gives them an opportunity to be in better striking range when it matters than when we saw in those replays. So the tip for me in race 10, Capital Legend. His winning factor, the draw. Now, there isn't a slam dunk in this race, plenty of chances here, and both of these horses have their issues, but they're lightly raced, improving type horses. In fact, Beauty Inspire may even turn out the better of the two horses in time. But we've seen a bit of racing now from the Casper Founds trained runner. He's hard fit and gets a much better chance to stay in contention in the early stages from a better draw on this occasion. Well, that's it from the winning factor this week. Good luck on Sunday. We'll see you next time.